Oops. Now, Saudi Arabia is indicating that it too wants nuclear weapons, and it might not have to develop them. Also, a man in Saudi Arabia, a blogger, survives 50 lashes. We'll talk about that. And Obama. Is he the reincarnation of Haman, the archenemy of the Jews? Or is he just acting like it? I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
All right, no, there is no reincarnation. But you can still watch what's going on in the world and look at biblical passages, biblical history. Certainly you can look at biblical law, and then a lot of what's going on makes sense. For such a time as this, Mordecai said to Esther, he said, who knows, maybe you were raised up for such a time as this. But if you don't respond, you and your father's house will perish, and God, he doesn't say the name of God, but he says help will come from somewhere else. Esther is the only book in the Bible that doesn't say the name of God. Did you know that? Anyway, Haman, the arch enemy of the Jews. Haman was the man in the book of Esther who was trying to eliminate, to kill the Jews. And you might remember at that time that the Jews were in Persia. Persia, for those of you who don't know, that's Iran. Iran got a new name less than 100 years ago, okay? The area was called Persia. It's been called Persia for thousands of years. And if you meet somebody, by the way, who's from Persia, they won't say I'm Iranian. They'll say I'm Persian. Go ahead, try it out sometime, you'll see. Anyway, Jewish rabbi who's both American and Jewish citizen, from Israeli citizen, over the weekend compared Obama to Haman. He said that Obama is threatening the Jewish people, he is threatening the world, and as you can imagine, there was an outcry. A woman inside the congregation started yelling at him, you're disrespecting the President of the United States. People in the synagogue started booing at her. He said, I'm being disrespectful because he's disrespecting Netanyahu. He's disrespecting Israel. He's disrespecting the human race. Let me say this. People who are paying attention understand that Obama is setting the table for Iran to obtain nuclear weapons. Okay? They can lie to us all they want. All right, we've seen the Obama administration, they hired that fella to help with the health care, and he went to place after place saying, Americans are stupid. The voters are stupid. They don't know what's best for them. They're stupid. We can trick them. We can deceive them. We know that the Obama people believe that most of us are stupid. And sadly, they're right an awful lot. I mean, you've got the whole group of people that are watching Miley Cyrus and Beyonce. Do you really think that they're paying attention to whether or not Obama gets nuclear or helps Iran get nuclear weapons? They're not. But it's some of those people or some of their sons and their daughters who will die on a field of battle, or who will die if nuclear weapons go off in the area where they are because of the deal that Obama is cutting. You might have caught this. It's really huge news. A man, an Iranian journalist, defected while in Switzerland. Remember John Kerry was in Switzerland recently working with the Iranians to try and get this deal? One of the Iranian journalists defected, and he said two really important things. He said, I'm not a journalist. It's not journalism anymore because I don't get to report the news. I only can write what I'm told to write. But what's more important is he said that the Americans are there primarily to put forward Iran's agenda. The Americans, in so many words, he said that the Americans are Iran's cheerleaders. I'll give you the direct quote when we come back from this break. But who knows, for such a time as this, what are we going to do? I want to talk to you about that. Because a lot of people who write to me, call me, talk to me face to face, they say, Randall, it's getting worse than I ever thought that it could. What do we do? We'll talk about the mercy of God. We'll talk about prayer. We'll talk about action. We'll talk about you. What can you do? What will you do?
You have two choices. I mean, you can try to raise your children by design, or you will raise them by default. There are no perfect parents. We're going to get it wrong sometimes. If we have a plan, we've got a better chance of getting it right in the long run.
There is something deep within the heart of every human being that longs for parental acceptance and approval. When does a boy become a man?
Get a group of guys around and ask them that question.
I don't think there's a certain age. Some men stay boys their whole life.
I would say, 16, 18 years old.
Wow, that's a good question.
When they get bar mitzvah.
Well, I think when he has a child. So I just became at 56, 56 years old.
Without the power of the Holy Spirit changing us and giving us power over our sin, we can't hope to be the dads that our kids need us to be.